All right, we are. Let me angle this down a little bit, get everything situated. We are here. Can you guys hear me? Hear me, see me, all that other good stuff? Oh, thanks, Phil. Right out of the gate. Yeah, guys, hit that like button. I appreciate it. Also, check out Phil's website, guys, for a cruise for you travel agency. That whole thing, guys. He's a good man, knows what he's doing. Very knowledgeable as well. All right, cool. Nibbles, what's going on, bro? How's everybody doing? We got Daryl Hicks in the mix. What's going on, guys? What's going on? We're going to wait for a couple people to get in, and then we'll go ahead and get started with today's live. I feel like it's been a while since we did a live. I really do. It's been a while. It's been, what, like 2 weeks? Something like that. Either way, it feels good to be back. A lot of cruise news going on these days. Can I tell a funny story of something that happened on the ship? Like what? I mean, I got a million stories of ship stuff that went down. You guys wouldn't believe half of them, to be honest with you. It's like one of those things you got to have worked on a ship to understand even how any of it goes. So, yep. What's going on, everybody? How you doing? We got Texas in the house. We got Virginia in the house. How am I doing today? I'm good. I'm a little tired. I've been doing like breakdance shows at this new pier that we have over in St. Petersburg. So I've been a little exhausted, flipping over people, spinning on my head and stuff. So from Scotland, we got Long Island in the house. Good to see everybody. It's good to be back. When you guys are coming in, make sure you hit that like button for me. I really appreciate it. Yeah, it's been a long week for sure, especially with everything going on in the cruise ship industry. A lot of stuff happening right now. Looks like the United States isn't going to see cruising for a while. That's for sure. I think that's kind of getting clear. Rocking the pink. That's right. Yeah, check out the merch. I guess I still got a couple of these left that I have for sale if you guys want to, check it out. Long week. Yeah, Scott, I feel like I haven't talked to you guys in a while. I haven't talked to my moderators or nothing. We've just been running around with like chickens with our head cut off. It's crazy. One story. I was scheduled to work at the ship as entertainment. I'm so disappointed. All right, well, look, just remind me later on and during the live. I'll tell you a story because there's plenty of them. Yeah, Scott, I know you've been busy. Everybody's been busy. It's been a hectic time. I've been trying to gobble up as much money as I can. With all this unemployment and stuff going on, nobody knows what's about to happen. We got to keep it moving. How's everybody doing though? Everybody doing all right? I know, we got people coming in from all over the place. Is everybody else, before we get started, everybody else doing good? We surviving? Because it seems like we're kind of on our own these days. Everybody's doing all right? From South Africa, that's what I'm talking about. It's good to see everybody still, kicking it, doing all right, doing well. From Barbados, have you been to the cruise port in Barbados? Are there a lot of ships out there? How do I buy your merchandise? So not on this video because it's still live. Go to one of my older videos. I got a link to my website. You can buy stuff from there. Philip, still wait for you to get the triple well size. Yeah, I know. I still got to make my orders. I just been kind of all over the place lately and bouncing around and stuff. I got to get everything reorganized, restructured, all that other stuff. But we will definitely eventually. Love the pink. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, guys, it's been crazy. What about this news with the CDC? How you guys feel about it? You still think do you think it's justified that the CDC is stopping cruises at least till October here in the United States? How do you guys feel about it? Louisiana. Yeah, I know. I've been there a couple times. I know how crazy it gets over there. It's humid. It's humid here too. It just got done raining and now the sun's back out. So, yep. Yeah, I know you guys. I know. Yeah. Say it's fair. CDC had no choice. I think it's ridiculous. Okay, we got mixed opinions. Yeah, I can understand that. No, they're doing the right thing. I think more people are more on the side of the CDC doing the right thing, but I have to agree to a certain extent. Cruising's done until 2021. We're definitely going to talk about that in today's live stream. I think they need to come up with procedures. I have a lot of ideas. Yeah, but everybody has, unfortunately, everybody has a lot of ideas of what should be done for the cruising industry. But the bottom line is, if something happens on any of these ships and they got another incident where they have to shut everything down, that could be a death sentence for the cruise ship industry. That's for sure. Would have went on the Bahama Paradise right away if it sailed in July. I know they're not anymore. I would have too. I'm not that far from West Palm Beach. I would have definitely sailed out of there for sure. So I guess it's going to be a while now. Now we got to wait for another round of how they're going to do the cancellations and future cruise credit. You know, it's going to be a pain. African crew have been home for 2 weeks. That is great. That's great. I know people are, for the most part, it's looking like there's a lot of skeleton crew out there. I have just a couple friends left that are still on board these ships and people that I've been communicating with. It looks like for the most part, a lot of people are finally getting repatriated. But the problem is now, what's going to happen when they have to go back? You know, a lot of them are out of work right now, not making any money. So it's a terrible situation. Yeah, Tampa's a good 4-hour drive from West Palm Beach. Yeah, I've been there plenty of times for competitions and stuff. I've been there, Miami, more times than I can count. So, yeah, it's been really, really, really crappy situation. Yeah, RCL 97. I did a video about that, which is really great news. They need to go ahead and finish getting everybody up, get them home. Let's see. I'm thinking mid-September for the Bahama Paradise bit, but that's just a rumor. Yeah, we're definitely going to talk about that. We are definitely going to talk about that, like predictions as far as what could potentially happen, at least here in the United States. People in Europe are able to go on a vacation, so cruises should try to go with the mid. Sorry, what was that? Oh, mid to less capacity if they find out if it's working or not. Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree. It's all an experiment at this point, to be honest. Cruise ships need to put more emphasis in there. What do you mean? Tybo, what do you mean? Supergirl Leo, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Say hello, Justin. I was confused because it says the wrong time. Did it say it started at 2 p.m.? That's weird. I'm sorry about that. But yeah, when I do my lives, it's at 3 p.m. Sorry about the confusion. They're also rotating crew. Yeah, they are. Here and there. I mean, they're trying not to do it too much because somebody gets on the ship with the virus, it's a wrap. But this is also could be the reason why there's still reports of the virus on board the ships as well. So that's my guess. Their own islands. Yeah, it's going to look like that, to be honest with you guys, when it comes back. What's happening in the Tampa market with lots of the smaller ships? There haven't been any ships here. Like, I think maybe about 2 weeks ago, I saw a ship come in for, to get supplies and whatnot. Then they went right back out. Cruise ships haven't been in these ports in Tampa. I'm really surprised. Carl Knight, 2 p.m. Central Time. Yeah, that's probably why. If you're in a different time zone, it's probably going to show up as a different time. I think that's the gist of it. I think that's what it is. Let's see. With everything that's happening, I would not take any cruise credit. No cruise credit at all. Get your money back if you can. Yeah, that's a touchy subject, right? Because that's always going to be the argument. I might make a dedicated video on it. I might just put it in one of my other videos. That's the question. Should you get the cruise credit or should you just go ahead and get the refunds? Because from what I understand and from what I've seen and talking to people, the only companies that are really offering the future or giving people their refunds back in a timely manner is Royal Caribbean. So I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. Has anybody else got any money back from their cruise line that isn't Royal Caribbean that didn't take 6 months or however long it took or months at a time for them to give it back to you? Because I know there's probably a lot of people on here that have cruises planned and they took the refund and probably took a while. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Chip. How's everything going? Let's see. I just canceled my transatlantic in November from Barcelona to San Juan. 6 days for the refund. NCL? Oh, okay, good. So it's not just Royal Caribbean. Cruise credit is okay. At least you have a trip in the future. But the problem with the cruise credit, I haven't said it in a while though in my videos, but you got to understand that when cruising comes back, I'm assuming they'll find out some type of system for it, but it's going to be a lot, right? There's going to be 1 million people maybe per cruise line that are trying to redeem the future cruise credit. You know what I mean? It's going to be chaos. How are they going to work that out and still flip a profit? Maybe I'm missing something here, but that's what it looks like to me. You're talking about hundreds of thousands, if not 1 million people accumulating future cruise credit. What's going to be the process for people trying to redeem that future cruise credit and the onboard credit and all that stuff? How's that going to go down? I think that's to me, that's the bigger question. Because you can only give out so much future cruise credit, because I'm assuming whenever cruising does finally come back, everybody and their mom is going to be trying to get redeem the future cruise credit. Some people will be back at work, so they might not have the available time, but there's going to be a huge influx of people trying to redeem the future cruise credit, and it's going to be just a pain, and it's going to be a hassle for the cruise lines to even start to organize. That's my 2 cents. That's how I feel about it. I could be wrong, but maybe they'll have like the perfect system to reorganize everything and structure it correctly to where it's a smooth process. But we'll see. Let's see. A lot of my customers are getting refunds anywhere from 2 weeks to 2 months. Okay. I mean, that's a little bit of a gap, but hey, at least they're getting it back, right? Within somewhat of a timely manner. I think that's to be expected with all the port fees and taxes and stuff that are just distributed all over the place when somebody books a cruise. I guess it would take time no matter what. So, by the way, guys, yeah, look what everybody say. Smash that like button for me. I'd appreciate it while we're here. Thank you. All right, while there is no rule that says you should have 10 to 12 hours on every island you visit. Oh, okay, yeah, you're right. A Grand Turk, 7 a.m. to 2:30 is such a short window. Yeah, it's just when you get to these ports, let's say you go to the Bahamas, or even when you're in the home port like Miami and the ship is it's embarkation day and people are on, offloading and unloading, cruise lines got to pay for those port fees, and it's not cheap. Especially in these islands and ports, they're gonna pay for it. So maybe if they have, let's say, in theory, their own islands, right, like Stirrup Cay or something like that, it might end up being profitable for the cruise lines, and they might not have to deal with so much, of the craziness that they have in their ports. They have streamlined future cruise credit redemptions for travel agents. Okay, that's good. I'm just talking about whenever they redeem it when they come back. That's going to be my worry. If you got future cruise credit, you try to redeem it along with everybody else in the world, how smooth of a process is that going to be, or how are they going to organize that? I have a cruise plan for the first week of November, thinking about rescheduling. Yeah, I mean, November is going to be it's hard to predict what's going to happen in November, to be honest. I'll talk about that later on in the video as far as like predictions, because I know everybody has their theories of what's going to happen for cruising for the rest of 2020. I know a lot of people have already just decided it's probably going to end up going until 2021. We'll just have to see. Let's see. What do you think of the cruise line sharing revenue temporarily? I think that's it could work, but I think it'd be just a crappy idea, because who's going to decide like the line for when the cruise credit, or when the sharing stops, and how are they going to divide things up from there? I'm sure for them, they could figure it out a easier process, but it would still just be a pain. So let's see. I think you might be tired of always asking this question, but here it goes. Hey, fire away. Which of the 3 big cruise line players do you think you can get from this pandemic situation easier? What do you mean? Like as far as future cruise credit? What do you mean? Let's see. John here. Ada, Carnival is supposed to start next month. That won't happen. Also, NCL. Also heard NCL was starting up somewhere. Okay. What have you heard? Wait. So Ada is from what my understanding, still planning on starting in Germany. So that probably could still go down. I haven't heard anything additional about that. I also haven't heard anything about NCL either. But I'm definitely gonna look into it. Like especially on a Sunday, I tried my best to do research because I'm not editing and doing all this crazy stuff with videos. I'm going to look into it later tonight. And then if I have any updates on NCL, because we haven't heard from them in a while, I'll definitely let everybody know. But right now, you guys know it's crazy right now. It really is. Jay, what kind of time frame do you think it would take to bring back all the crew and cruising does start up again? It'll be months, right? You're talking about on any particular cruise line, especially right now from what we're seeing, it looks like the cruise lines are going to use the ships that they're going to make the most profits from, which will probably be the mega ships, right? So you're talking about having most of the crew, probably like at least 80 to 90% of the crew, because I know a lot of people are throwing out there that if they're going to cut the occupancy of the guests, they're probably going to do the same for the crew. The truth is, on a ship, the crew are already short-staffed to a certain degree. This is for the same reason you see the same people that may be at the bar at 8 a.m. are also working at the bar in the club at 12 or midnight. You'll see the same people bouncing around because a cruise line is naturally understaffed because it's more profitable for them. And they have these different labor laws so they can have people working, all throughout the day, 12-hour shifts. So, the crew situation is definitely going to be difficult to manage because a lot of people say they'll social distance by putting the crew members in the rooms that the guests aren't in because they'll be running at 50% occupancy. There's a lot of rules for the crew. You're not supposed to be in certain areas after a certain time. Like somebody's going to have to make a whole new set of guidelines and rules. It's going to be a pain. It really is. Then you got to fight over who's going to get the guest cabins. But my point is it'll be a long while before cruising's back to full operation. It'll be an even longer while before all the crew are back on the ship. And then you got to find out who actually wants to go back, rehire, a lot of paperwork, a lot of contracts that have to be signed. Must crew put in 12-hour days? Yeah. Oh, trust me, I know. I was there. I didn't put in those hours, but I saw everybody else doing it, to be honest. Like, I'm not going to lie. I was extremely spoiled when I was working on board ships. Every other time I did it, whether it was the short contracts I did with Carnival or when I was with the NCL, my contracts were, I have probably to this day, like the easiest contract ever for like a normal, like, crew member. So we need to take control of this virus before we can consider cruising. It's full blown right now. Yeah, you're right. You're right. What are your thoughts on possibly allowing crews to visit places or leaving the ship? Or possibly not. I think you're not going to get a lot of crew that really want to be on board. If not, the morale is going to be down on board for sure. The crew members aren't going to be happy. You know, if they're talking about social distancing and limiting what the crew can do, right? If you don't have full availability of the crew bar, if you can't go to the ports, which is what a lot of crew members want to do, trust me, if I couldn't go to the ports and I couldn't get off, I wouldn't have gone on the ship. You know, because you're essentially in the same situation that a lot of the crew members are in now, where you can't ever get off, right? And that takes a toll. All you got is a little tiny room, the crew bar, and the ports that you're allowed to get into. That makes up your entire reality when you're doing a cruise ship contract. Crew members aren't going to be having that. I'm going to tell you that right now. They're not going to be having it. Sorry, Mr. Super Chat. Ron, is it Tuxhorn? Thank you so much for the Super Chat. I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you for supporting the channel. Short itineraries, the smaller ships will be the most popular. Yeah, it'll have to be. That's why you see a lot of these cruise ships that were doing the international tour, or the world travel tours and whatnot. You're seeing them be sold off because they know it's going to be a long while before we see these world tours and stuff going on again. So it's going to be a good while. It really will. Let's see. Jay, have you heard anything of the safety panel together? No, they've been quiet. They announced that NCL and Royal Caribbean were going to join up together. We haven't heard anything since. Everybody's playing the waiting game now, especially with this new CDC sail order. They're going to probably wait before they make any kind of announcements. It only makes sense. Going to lift and shift from 2020 to 2021. It's a smart idea. Thank you for the videos. No, thank you for supporting the channel. Thank you for the super chat. Let me see what Scott has to say. If the crew bar is taken away for good, good luck getting crew and work on board. Yeah, for a lot of the crew, that's the only like safe haven that they have where they can actually be themselves, take a load off, grab a drink. Because I'm telling you right now, I'm not an alcoholic, but when I'm on the ship, I'm kicking them back. You know, like, what else are you going to do? You know, it's going to be that, the cabin parties. You take all those elements away, it's not going to be a good time for the crew. They're going to be miserable. Do you know how long the deck officers have? Usually, from my understanding, the higher ups usually have shorter contracts. They'll be on for like 3 months on, 3 months off, something like that, something of that nature. But I've seen officers that have 6 to 9 month contracts as well. It just depends on your position and the type of contract you agree to. Real quick before it goes away, your lifestyle elevated. Wow, $50 super chat. Thank you so much for that. Wow, I don't even know what to say. It says, keep building your content and brand upward and forward. Many blessings. No, thank you. What you just gave me was a blessing, man. I appreciate it. I'm definitely going to keep building. I had a lot of plans for this channel, but right now we're just kind of, to be honest, coasting a little bit because the cruise ship industry shut down. So, but thank you so much. I will definitely keep moving forward. That's the plan. It's the name of the game. You need anything, seriously, hit me up. I appreciate that super chat. Thank you. Let's see. Hank J says, thank you, but also Bermuda arriving Friday 3 p.m., leaving Sunday or Saturday 3 p.m. Both days, you can't have one relaxing day. 24 hours both days are not a relaxing day. Yeah, you're right. I like Bermuda. I mean, when I was on the NCL Escape, we would go to Bermuda and we were there for 3 days. And that was probably the best itinerary we could have ever had because it gave people time to take a load off, relax. If the guests want to go spend the night in an Airbnb in Bermuda, as expensive as that place is, still beautiful, they could do so. You know, I think that should be a more, I guess, normalized thing with the cruise lines. Not jumping around so much from port to port. You know, that's how I feel about the situation. Let's see. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to catch up with all these. Smash the like button. Yeah, guys, I got 69. I got 140 people watching this live stream, and we got 69 likes. Hit that like button for me, guys. I appreciate it. Thank you. Let's see. Can you affect your contract length, or do you get what you get? Yeah, if you have some type of, it's rare, but if you have some type of seniority or whatever the case is, you can kind of negotiate your contract, but not really. You know, usually the contracts are somewhat non-binding, Meaning if you want to leave early or if, you get fired or something like that, they'll terminate your contract. But that's usually the gist of it. Usually it's like a bottom line for your position. My position on board as a Broadway show dancer, it was 6 months. That was the bottom line. Unless something came up or I negotiated after like a second or third contract and said, look, I can only be here for 3, you might be able to get a deal like that. But that's usually how it goes. Usually it's kind of you get what you get depending on the position on board. Let's see. Thank you so much for the updates. Can't wait to get back to cruising. Yeah, no, I'm doing my best. Speaking of the updates, guys, I don't know if you noticed with my new videos, like I've been trying to just kind of bundle, different news stories as opposed to me just kind of talking about one thing for one whole video and giving my opinion. Do you guys like that type of content, or would you rather me focus a little bit more on maybe 1 or 2 subjects per video? How do you guys feel about it? Because I feel like I'm giving you guys a little bit more content as opposed to me eventually, just rambling on or whatever the case is. How do you guys feel about it? Let's see. Cruise lines should have layovers, right? Yeah, layovers on all islands, their own islands, and mini vacations with extra charge if you like to stay. I like that idea. I do. But also, it just depends because there's some, private islands that I've been on. And I'm sure you guys can all attest to this and agree to it. You go to some private islands, and to be honest, other than the beach to lay out on, there's not a lot to do. There really isn't. So I think if they're gonna do that and they're gonna try to segue over to like maybe strictly doing a little bit more private islands, they gotta have more to offer on these private islands. Let's see. Love the old videos where you talk about one thing at a time. Okay, I like the bundles as well. I'm thinking of maybe mixing it up because I have this cruise news and the views have been pretty good. This week was but the viewership has been nice. My audience retention, because I look at all my numbers and stuff. People seem to be a little bit more attracted to when I bundle videos, but I think if it's a bigger subject, I might make these standalone videos. Like next week, I'm thinking about talking about the future of the crew members, like what's going to happen with them and, with this extension and stuff. I might make that a standalone video. So I'll probably do that. If it's a bigger subject to talk about and it's not just some one-off thing like a cruise ship being sold, I'll just go ahead and make a solo video on it. So yeah, that's the plan. Let's see, MSC's new Ocean K is fabulous. Yeah, there's some private islands out there that are really nice, but there's some that I've been to that have nothing there. They got a couple bars and they got a beach, and that's it. I don't want to see that. I want to go see like another country. I want to go see another port like that actually has stuff that has it around it. That's my 2 cents. I like the new format. Thanks, Phil. Appreciate it. Thank you. Variety is the spice of life. Exactly. So I try my best. It's a little bit more research. A little bit more studying and stuff. But I kind of like it a little bit more too. It gives me more to just I can bring you guys more facts and stuff that's going on within the industry as opposed to just, talking about whatever. So yeah, but I think I'll just do that. Whenever there's a bigger topic to talk about, I'll make it a standalone video. I love the way you do it. The worst thing about watching a YouTube stretch a 2-minute story out for a 12-minute video. Yeah, unfortunately, that's YouTube. A lot of people might, like for me personally, I can't make everybody happy. Right? Like for example, I made one joke about somebody that kept like putting stuff on my comment section. Cause I look at my comments. There was a guy, he would say like racist things. He would talk about the way that I talk. Why do I say ask or something like that? Ask. The way I say ask, he didn't like. And he was like, why do black people do this and talk like this and blah, blah, blah. Then he talks about my hat. And I was like, dude, like, I'm gonna throw it in. I'm gonna throw it into the video. But since I did that, somebody else got mad and started talking about me being soft or whatever the case is. I'm like, dude, I can make a joke. Yeah, it's like it's YouTube. There are plenty of YouTubers that do it. I'm like, dude, it's my channel. I can do what I want. If somebody's making a public comment for everybody to see, I can make it public. That's just how it is. Anyway, I'm not gonna get off into that. I just think, if you guys haven't seen the comment section, it's the most toxic and entertaining place you'll ever check out. I love it. You'll see some crazy things on there. You'd be surprised. I do my best to try to help people out, but like, no, it's not that people are cruel. It's just that people are bored. Some people are like keyboard warriors. They're sitting in their mom's basement at home, with their hot pockets and they got nothing better to do. I think it's entertaining. I look at it and I'm just like, what? Like for me to sit there, like, I make my content, right? It takes me time to do my videos and stuff. If you guys don't know, I put a lot of time into the editing, and which I hate editing, by the way. I hate it so much, right? But it takes time to put the videos out there. And to me, I'm just like, I'm actually doing something where I can create value. But for somebody to watch my video, pick out the one thing that you don't like and talk about it and make like a whole, it's entertaining. And I'm just like, man, I feel bad for those people. I really do. Everybody's a critic. Exactly. Exactly. You're right. Racism's wrong. Yeah, I agree. No, but like one thing that in particular, because I gotta like talk about the elephant in the room. A lot of people were talking about, which I got more comments on this. It was crazy. Like that ship that's being scrapped. The what's it called? The Oceana. Sorry. Yeah, what's called the Oceana by P&O, right? We talked about it didn't have balconies, and everybody's like, oh, you and Bruce and everybody else that said it's not a big deal. You know, like the truth is, right? Because people were like, out of that one little thing, out of that 15-minute long video, people were like, oh, you're copying Bruce and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no, here's the thing, right? I'm not gonna lie. We all, between me and Bruce, Lalita Loca, of course we all check out each other's videos. And it's easy to get influenced by stuff. Bruce might have said that at first, but I didn't take it verbatim. After I looked at the pictures of the Oceana, I was like, oh, okay, maybe he's right. It doesn't have any. But I looked at those couple pictures and people based off of that judged my whole video. And I'm just like, man, it is what it is. You know, but you're right, guys. Haters are going to hate. I think it's entertaining. You know, it's not going to stop me from building my channel. And to be honest, when I get the haters, it means my channel is usually doing pretty well. So anyway, sorry, guys. I missed a ton of comments. I'll try to get back to a couple and then we'll go ahead and keep moving. Let's see. They're not important enough to care. Yeah, I know. It's all good. It is what it is. You can't satisfy everybody. Yeah, that's a fact. Hot Pockets. I'm glad you don't take it personally. You provide helpful information and it's appreciated. Thank you, guys. You know, this information too, like a lot of people can see it as like a race. I'm not in a race with anybody. You know, I want to make that very clear. I'm no way, shape, or form in a race to be the first to bring out the news. You know, if Bruce brings out the news first, or Lalita Loca, or Don, or whoever, it is what it is. I try to just be accurate and give you guys valuable content. I'm not in a race to be the first. I'm not a reporter. I'd rather be accurate than to be first. So, just so you guys know, just so we can put that out there. I'm never trying to, if some breaking news comes out and I can get to it, cool. If I gotta wait till tomorrow, then it is what it is. So be it. So, all right, let me see. Love to watch all you guys give good info on cruising. Thanks. You know, I think we got a good community here, I think. Everybody here is knowledgeable. You know, I'm a younger guy. I got a different perspective than a lot of other people on cruising. I may not be as knowledgeable, but then again, I believe everybody knows something that you don't. I understand the inner workings of cruising and of the cruising industry that other people wouldn't. So, you know, love Don. Yeah, Don, he's very straightforward. Amen on accurate info. I do my best. Like I said, I'd rather be accurate, or at least to the best of my ability, because things can always change, than be first. You know, but at the end of the day, I'm technically just like a cruise, I guess, critic and commentator, right? Most of the information that I find out that isn't about like cruise stuff is usually stuff that I found on the internet. You know, University of YouTube, University of Google. You can find a lot of stuff on the internet that, you know, a lot of people just don't want to like search through. So I try to bring it to you guys to the best of my ability. What's your favorite cruise YouTuber, if you have one? I got a lot of favorite cruise YouTuber. Like you said, like just basic YouTuber. No, I don't have a favorite cruise YouTuber. My favorite cruise YouTuber is me. Anybody that's willing to be like organic and like just be straight up. I don't beat around the bush. I don't believe in that. Just popping in for a couple minutes to represent the Down Under from New Zealand. Dude, I gotta go out there. I've never been to New Zealand. I gotta check that place out. I really do. I would love to. Let's see. Supergirl Leo. Oh, okay, that's not for me. It's great to see all the cruise YouTubers on different views. Yeah, we all vary very drastically on how we feel about situations. You know, but on top of that, I know one thing that separates my channel from everybody else is that unlike everyone that does this stuff, I'm not a travel agency. You know, everybody else is a travel agency. So technically, to a certain degree, if you want to put it in this way, they're not allowed to say anything against the cruise industry because it'll hurt their business. Which makes sense, you know, you don't want to mess up their money. And that's how it is. I can be authentic because my business doesn't circulate around me generating sales from booking cruises, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Rob just got here. What's going on, Rob? How's it doing? I'm doing pretty good, man. I'm great. A little tired. Crazy yesterday, man. I was flipping over people, spinning on my head and stuff at this new pier. But no, what I was saying is the other cruise YouTubers, no offense to them, but you know, in all due respect, they are travel agents. So their revenue depends on it. Yeah, I mean, I'm a YouTuber. Of course, I have a sponsor. Every YouTuber, for the most part, especially every big YouTuber, it's gonna happen. But my sponsorship doesn't dictate what I say. If I do a little integration, that doesn't determine how I'm gonna do my video. If that makes sense, that's just part of the business. The mission has to be funded. You know, I know a lot of people may dislike or feel some type of way about getting a sponsorship, but it is what it is, guys. You should be happy, I guess. We got to move forward. So yeah, I have one sponsor now, and it probably won't be the last for my channel. That's just how it is. I'd rather have one sponsor where I do an integration sometime during my video than to have my entire business model be determined on me being biased toward a certain way. That makes sense to me. I'd rather have a sponsorship than have my business not be, what it is. Let's see. You should all get together and have an all-star group. I would love that, but I don't. The thing is, I'm so different from their channel. I don't think they'd have me on their YouTube channel, to be honest with you. I'm younger. My channel's a lot newer than theirs, and we all have different opinions and stuff. Like from what I've seen, Lalita Loca, Don, they're all friends. You know what I mean? They all hang out with each other and stuff. So that'd be nice. I would like to do that in the future, but it would just depend. Like, I think for their taste and for them being travel agents and stuff, I might be a little too straight up, and it might not be what they're trying to hear. That's my opinion. I don't know. I could be wrong. So I just subscribed. You know me. You sold me. Oh, nice to have you on board, Skip. Thank you for supporting the channel. I appreciate it. Let's see. Just staying there, travel agency. So if you have a truthful video that some people may take in a negative light, it might look bad for your sponsor. I mean, well, the thing is, like, if it's something, let's say, for example, if you guys have noticed, if I talk about, let's say, a crew member or something like that unfortunately has taken their own life, I won't talk about the sponsor. But I also try and find ways, even if we're talking about negative stuff, there's negativity and there's the truth, I can still word it around in such a way that I can still talk about my sponsor. You know what I mean? That doesn't dictate anything. I'm never saying that, oh, cruising needs to go down and forget all the cruise ships. I've never said that. I had no problem saying that, Royal Caribbean could have done better or somebody could have done better. That has no negative effect on my sponsors or anybody else I'm affiliated with or a brand deal. Yeah, he's my sponsor, Phil. He's on here right now. He said, I have no issues with his video. I'd rather he be honest with his vids, because honesty is not the same as negativity. If people see it that way, then we just, it is what it is. People are a little bit more sensitive than they have been in previous times, because a lot of people truthfully are bored. You know what I mean? Can you report on what's going on with them? Going on with who? Let's see. I love your perspective on cruising. Your point of view is something we don't hear from that often. Yeah, I do my best. I just try to be honest because I believe honesty is the key. Now, for example, a lot of people will say I'm bashing the industry. I'm not. I love cruising, but I love travel more. That's where my love comes from. Like, if things get better, let's say cruising comes back and I end up getting a sponsorship from Royal Caribbean or the Scarlet Lady or something like that. Yeah, obviously I have to change the way I handle things. I'm not going to be fake and say, oh, this is the best cruise line ever. I'm never going to be dishonest. You know what I mean? And if somebody doesn't want to work with me because I'm not faking how I feel about a situation, then I don't need them. That's just the truth. So, that's how I feel about the situation. Let's see. Does the senior officers and managers have separate mess and others? No, they don't. They don't. Like, some people, like when I was on the ship, because I was considered kind of higher up, even though it was my first contract, we have room service. That's probably the only thing. But it depends on the ship. I've heard about other ships having separate places for the officers and whatnot, and then for the regular crew, they have their original mess. Love your videos. Thank you for all you do. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's see. To me, your vids are like talking to friends. I like your approach. That's how I believe in. Like, I'm in no like higher up authority of anybody else. I'm just a normal dude that's, trying to keep it real and trying to bring you guys quality content. Like, this whole thing with the cruise ship stuff, it was an opportunity that kind of fell into my lap, and I took advantage of it, and here we are. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have some obsession with cruising. I have an obsession with travel because I believe travel is the ultimate form of education, and that's how I look at it. Right? Later on, whenever cruising comes back, I do want to go and do reviews and show you guys a different side of cruising than what you guys see as traditional cruising. Show you guys cheaper ways to save money in ports for excursions. Stuff like that I would like to be able to do. Obviously, we can't right now. So in the meantime, I guess I'll be on this reporter type deal that we're doing, you know, because this is all we can do. I'm just doing my best to make sure I maintain on the channel, build the channel, which is going really nicely. I'm happy for, you know, my channel's growing pretty fast and I appreciate you guys for that. So, you know, I'm gonna do my best to give you guys updates and be honest about it. I enjoy your updates and infos on cruising. Hopefully be a member of a cruise ship hope to be a member of a cruise ship after this blows over. I hope so. They'll definitely be hiring. That's for sure. Whenever they come back, they'll need to. Let's see. Senior officers can dine in with the passenger areas if they do. Yeah, I was able to as well. We were able to. I could with Norwegian, you have like a white card and you have a yellow card. And I had a yellow card, which allowed me to go to all the guest areas. There were a handful of guest areas when I was on the Escape that I couldn't go to. But I had the ability, I can go to the clubs, I could go to the dining restaurants, but it was just kind of one of those things where we got to keep in mind that the guests always come first, and I had to be back in the crew areas by 1 a.m. And that was the only, that was the only main thing we had to keep in mind. Let's see, killer information on your channel, bro. Love to hear your perspective. Thank you. But I do try to put a little bit more facts into the equation and not so much perspective, because a lot of people stumble upon my channel that have no idea who I am. So I look like some random dude talking about cruise ships, and I'm not old enough to look like I've been on like 50 cruises or anything like that. So, I'm going to try to give more facts as opposed to opinion. Like if you guys have noticed, whenever I bundle my videos or my content and I talk about a couple things, I'll say something maybe on the back end, but that's usually it. I don't want to go on a rant or a ramble of what's going on. Unless it's about the crew stuff, because obviously I know that's like more of my bread and butter. I understand the crew area more than I understand everything else. All the other stuff is just basically news articles that I've looked at multiple sources on, and then I just turn it into a script, record it, make it into a video, edit, and then I post. And that's how it works. And that there is the miracle of YouTube. That's the magic. Sorry guys, I'm trying to drink one of these a day. Need to get healthy. Let's see, maybe when cruising is back, you can film some tours of smaller ships that sail out of Tampa. That's what I'm planning on doing. There doesn't seem to be much quality content on YouTube about them. You're right. I mean, there are a couple things that I plan on doing. Of course, like going on the Scarlet Lady, because since Virgin's more so targeting a younger audience, I think it'd be a perfect, demographic for me to try to jump on. Who knows? Maybe Virgin will sponsor me or something. I don't know. Fingers crossed. That'd be nice. What's your normal live stream schedule? Every Sunday at 3 p.m. is my live stream schedule. So, except last week because I had some family issues going on. I also had shows at this new premiere of this new pier that we have in St. Petersburg, which was great. It was just exhausting. Let's see. Hopefully they're fixing that pool in the Scarlet Lady. I hope so. I really do. I hope they're fixing the pool. I hope they're making things a little bit more spacious. And who knows? Maybe they're renovating those rooms that everybody's complaining about. Looks like IKEA. Let's see. Yeah, I want to get on Scarlet Lady. I mean, especially if it's going to stay in Miami, it's not far from me. So I definitely want to do that ASAP. Cruising comes back, I want to get on Scarlet Lady. I've been saying it for months. I want to get on there and at least maybe do a review. Especially as like a younger person, I would love to get on there and really see what it's like. Oh, the pier at St. Pete is over? Yeah. I'm performing over there. So I got a breakdance show that I do at the pier pretty much all day on the weekends. Except for today, we're waiting for some final clearance from the city of St. Petersburg to come through. But I plan on being out there, if not next week, the week after that, and like every weekend. Until travel starts up again, because I need to get out of this country. So yeah, that's the plan. Let's see. What else you guys got? What else do we need to talk about? I'm trying to think. There was something that I wanted to jump on. I'll remember it in a minute. My daughter worked on the ship. She said that you couldn't go into the dining room unless invited by a guest. And then she wanted to wear her whites. It just depends. It really does. It depends on the cruise line. Like I said, I was a yellow card, right? So there were certain areas that I could go to and that I had priority if the guest invited me. But there were places that I were allowed to go to myself as long as there weren't too many guests there. So, that was the gist of it. It just depends. Things vary depending on what cruise line that you're working with. There is no blanket set of rules for crew members. Right? Some may have it horrible on board the ship during their contract because they can't go anywhere and they're stuck under, below deck. Or, some might have the freedom to do whatever it is they want. I really want to find out if Carnival sold the Fantasy for sure. I am booked on that ship next April. Yeah, from what I understand, it's a done deal, and that ship is headed to Turkey to be taken apart. So, it appears that they are selling off smaller ships. Your thoughts? Well, my thoughts is that, yeah, obviously, these ships are up in age, and these cruise lines want to sell these ships off, the older ones, these smaller ships, because The truth is, whenever cruising comes back, there's probably going to be some social distancing. They're probably going to be at 50% occupancy. And when they do that, that means the smaller ships can't make a profit, right? A smaller ship that has a maximum capacity of what? Just over 2,000 passengers, and it gets cut down to 1,000. On top of the maintenance required for the ship, a smaller ship, or an older ship rather, is going to be more expensive to run. Right? Not necessarily, there's a fine line between it, but the maintenance might have to be upkept on that ship, even though it is a smaller ship. But on top of that, the smaller ships are typically the ones doing the world cruises, the longer cruises. If they can't make a profit because that stuff isn't happening whenever cruising comes back, there's no point in having this. So for a lot of cruise lines, it's a good time for them to do like a clean out of the smaller ships, of their inventory, to save some money, because these ships are very expensive to keep up, even the smaller ones. They're really expensive. So that's why. Yeah, Fantasy and Inspiration headed to Turkey. Yeah, they're headed to the scrapyard. They're going to be taken apart, and that's going to be the end of it. Let's see, there was one question I missed. Have I heard any news from the Carnival Sunshine in Charleston? No. I know a lot of people are on edge because a lot of people have cruises that are still booked with cruise ships like the Inspiration. Carnival has not made any announcements on what they're going to do with the people that are already booked, but I'm assuming they're going to give them vouchers or future cruise credit to jump on another cruise ship. I'm assuming that's how it would have to go. That's the only way that it could go. Look at like Pullman Tour, they did that. Since Royal Caribbean has a 49% stake in their company, they just allow people that had a cruise book with all the Pullman Tours like the Monarch and stuff and the Sovereign, they can just rebook on a Royal Caribbean ship. I assume that Carnival is going to do something of that nature. And say, well, if they happen to sell all their fantasy class ships, they'll give you a voucher to possibly go on one of their larger ships. So I guess it's kind of an upgrade, but it just depends on how they do it, because the ship that you need to get on might not be available wherever it is. If your port, let's say I live in Tampa, and all the smaller ships go away, now I got to go to another port like Miami to get on the ship. It might end up costing me more in the long run, even with the future cruise credit. So I think that's something everybody needs to kind of think about and keep in mind too. Let's see, why did the Royal Caribbean ship change their name and logo? They did it because they wanted to alleviate some of the confusion. They plan on expanding, like they just bought, Silver Sea. They want to make it clear that they aren't just Royal Caribbean International, like just one cruise line. They want to make it clear that they actually have like an umbrella of cruise lines. It makes sense to a certain degree. I mean, it's kind of random time for the change, but it's also not. This is the time that a lot of cruise lines, a lot of companies, period, cruising or not, are going to be doing a lot of changes. Because while they're all shut down, that's how it's going to be. La Little Loca is in the house. How's it going, man? How you doing, Tony? He said, hey, what's up, sir? Bummed about the fantasy. It makes sense, but keep up the solid work. I'm doing my best, man. I'm trying to be like you guys, to be honest. I'm not a travel agent or anything like that, but I do my best to, just try to provide content. Now, to be honest, you guys have been doing it a lot longer than I have. So, I'm just a former crew member, and I like cruising, I like traveling, so this is my start to the build. But nice to see you, Tony. If Jenny's watching too, man, I appreciate you guys. Thank you. Let's see, what else we got? Even if the CDC starts selling November 1st, how long does it really realistically take to hire, train, and start sailing? It takes a while, guys. It's a process, right? Let's say from an entertainment standpoint, let's say if I'm working for NCL like I was. The headquarters happens to be in an area called Riverview, which is still like in a suburb of Tampa. But everybody in the world that's going to do a show for Royal Caribbean has to fly to the headquarters in Riverview, in Tampa Bay, right? And then it's a minimum of 6 weeks of rehearsal. And then they have to get approved. And then they go on the ship for the onboarding process, the on-staging and everything, and the installation of the show. So it's going to take weeks. And then somebody's working in the spa. They got to go maybe to their area in Steiner over in the UK. It's going to take a couple weeks for things to get back to normal. And the thing is, unless you guys want to get on a ship with no entertainment, which, you know what I mean? They can have bingo, but I'm sure you get tired of that. It's going to be a while, right? They'll probably announce something, maybe sometime in the near future, but it's going to take a while for them to restart. Then the ship's got to get out of cold layup, and that's just going to be the process of it all, What else are they going to talk about? What about cruising starting in 2021? What do you guys think about that? Do you think cruising will start in 2020, or you think it'll just roll over to 2021? I have my assumptions on it, and I've been talking about it. I'll talk about it in a second, but I want to hear some thoughts. How do you guys feel about it? You think cruising is going to start this year? You know, I know we got this new CDC no sail order and stuff like that. It just got extended, but how do you guys feel about it? Second quarter 2021. Okay, now that makes sense. What about everybody else? Not in the U.S. Oh, 2022. Oh, wow. Who made a video about that a while back? Bruce. He made a video, and a lot of people were not happy about that. But you never know these days. I heard they need 30 days to get back. Can staff get on the ship quicker than that? No. It's, you know, what people don't realize is that on these ships, there are, especially the larger ones, you're talking about 70 plus different nationalities on board, right? And with all the travel bans, with all the trainings that have to happen, there are going to be a lot of people that don't want to work on cruise ships anymore. So you got to retrain new people, rehire them, go get them tested, by the way, because whenever we work on a cruise ship, you got to go get your physical, you got to get your drug test, you got to get your yellow fever shot. Then they're going to have the vaccine for the coronavirus. It's going to be a process getting crew members back on board. Bruce has been too much pessimistic these days. No, you know, guys, before I answer the question about cruising happening this year and next year, when it comes to people like Bruce and maybe even me, I honestly, Bruce is a knowledgeable guy, guys. You have to understand that. He's very knowledgeable. He understands like the stock realm too, right? I dabble in stocks here and there, but I don't know enough to talk about it, especially to you guys. But Bruce has a lot of information that, to be honest with you, he has sources that I don't even, you know, I got crew members that I can talk to. Right? And I'm not saying Bruce is like the all-knowing guy, but you guys should listen to him too. He's a reliable source, and he has a lot of information that other cruise YouTubers may not even know anything about, and that's the truth. You know, everything that I say goes off of what I've seen and I've talked to my friends about with the crew, and it's honestly common sense. But a lot of people did get really upset when he talked about, you know, cruising not happening until 2022, but you never know. Nobody knows how this is going to go down. You know, I don't think he's being pessimistic. I think he was just being honest. And he gave you guys, like, I guess you could say, like, he planted a seed for you. Say, look, just be careful because, you know, this may not go as what the cruise lines are telling you. Because they're only going to tell the general public what they have to in order to maintain their bottom line, to keep their shares going and to, pun intended, keep their company afloat. That's just how it is. So let me see. Bruce said the CDC would put no sail extension on in 3 days before the CDC. Yeah. Before it happened. What do you know? Like when I was talking about stuff that was happening with the crew members with cases of the virus being on board the ship, right? People said I was lying. They said I was being pessimistic, but what happened a week later? The same amount, I would tell you guys that 150 people have the positive cases on the, you know, Celebrity Apex. And I don't know if you guys see the comment sections. They're like, oh, this guy is just trying to get views. He's just doing this. But sure enough, a week later, there it is on the news. You know, it's not pessimism. It's just being realistic, you know, and a lot of people naturally get it confused. It's understandable. But anyway, guys, on the subject of cruising not happening in this year, I still stick by what I say, right? We have this CDC no sail order. Okay, we all seen it. It's just talking about November, and I agree, and I made a video saying this whole situation with the CDC and the government and cruising is extremely political, and nobody wants to touch cruising right now because nobody wants to give that go ahead and say cruising can happen, and then we have a spike in cases, right? And then cruisers, especially like Americans, potentially get stuck out in the water, and then they're gonna sue, and you know, it's a big mess, right? But I'll say this: if there is no confirmation, and I've been saying this, if there is no confirmation of cruising happening, in my opinion, in around September, October, if we don't have a confirmation, I'm talking about like a 100% go ahead, 100% green light of cruising happening in September or October in the United States, cruising will probably be canceled and suspended at least until 2021. Again, that's my opinion on the situation. The way I feel about that, because, you know, cruising, you're talking about cruising jumping in on the second busiest time of the year, maybe even the first holiday season. You're talking about people going on board with their grandma, their grandpa. Nobody is doing a date cruise, you know what I mean, around that time. Everybody's on these family vacations and, you know, everybody's catching up. You're talking about people going on these ships in droves in packs of 20 and 30. You know, they're doing these, you know, these family vacations. And for them to, at that same time, for the cruise lines to, with no vaccine, by the way, cruise lines having to manage the future cruise credit, the complainers, the people that are going to be anti-vaccine, it's not feasible. It's not realistic. If they start up in November, right, around Thanksgiving, around Christmas time, they're gonna have their hands overly full. That's just the truth. First time on the live stream. Thank you, by the way, Linda. You know, they're gonna have their hands full, and that's my opinion. Then they're gonna have the lawsuits too, because it's inevitable that something's gonna happen on board. Like, you're talking about me that does a 6 month contract on a ship. If you knew the sheer amount of people that at least every cruise, I'm talking about minimum, like every cruise, one person unfortunately passes away, or at least a couple people get some type of like serious illness on board, whether it be a case of GI or whatever the case is, right? Imagine that magnifying, because you're also going to jump right into the situation of flu season, hurricane season. It's a lot of hassle for the cruise line to take in 2020 if they're going to suddenly just start to jump in and start up in November. Let's see. Yeah, but the judge threw out the Princess case. Oh, yeah, no, I'm going to talk about that tomorrow. But yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, but still, it's a pain. It's a pain. If cruise lines knowing that they're going to deal with all this stuff, why wouldn't they not just postpone and reorganize and restructure, which is something they should be doing? You know, restructure until 2021. I would like to see cruising happen this year. But at the same time, nobody wants it to be just a cluster of like a giant mess of people running around like a chicken with their head cut off with no idea of what to do. You know, that's the last thing anybody will want, right? Because one thing you have to keep in mind is the situation of like people that are avid cruisers that are expecting to get back on the ship and be on their, like, have like a normal lifestyle of how, you know, whatever their cruising experience is, they're going to want that same experience. And they're going to go on and realize that there's a max capacity being on the Lido deck and in the clubs, and they can't do certain stuff at the theaters. They gotta put in a waiting list or whatever. It's going to piss a lot of people off. And the problem is they don't know it yet. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. If that makes sense. They got to restructure, you know? Let's see. My bad, guys. I'm going on a little rant. I'm talking away. Got to answer some of these questions. Let's see. And by the way, we got 9 minutes, guys. I'm going to do my best to get to everybody. But how often do you encounter rocky seas, would you say? Shoot, it just depends. If you're talking about hurricane season, at least like every cruise, every other cruise. Like, my ship would go to, like, whenever we were doing the Canadian cruises, we didn't deal with it going up from New York to Halifax. But when we went from New York to Bermuda, every cruise, we dealt with rocky seas, which I didn't mind because I slept like a baby, to be honest with you. I loved it. And I love stormy weather. I'm weird. I love rainy, stormy weather. I'd go outside and watch it if we were allowed to. So I guess 2021 is more safe. Yeah. The beginning of November is the best time to cruise. I don't know. You know, again, like I said, you're talking about like hurricane season. We're jumping into hurricane season, the flu season, holiday season, where people aren't just going to be jumping on cruises where it's just two people. You're talking about like people doing the family thing on board the ship, where you got 20, 30 family members on the cruise running around all over the place and interacting with each other and stuff. It's gonna be insane. It's gonna be a lot for the cruise lines to handle if they indeed start in November, or just, you know, actually, yeah, November will probably be the only time they can start. You know, you're not weird. I like stormy weathers too. Okay. Thanks for making me not feel so weird. I appreciate it. I do love stormy weather. I love rain. I don't like driving in it though. How long were you a ship employee? So I worked for Carnival. Like, I did a couple contracts with this group called the Fun Force way back in the day. I was actually on the Inspiration for like a week, but we would do like in and out. We would fly on. So we would come in for a week, do the contract. And then a couple years later, because I was working for the Harlem Globetrotters for about 7 years, up until 2018, I just did one contract with NCL. But I also had a lot of time on my hands. I only worked like 2 days a week on the ship. So you're talking about taking a cruise every week for 6 months and barely ever working and having guest privileges. I got to see a lot. I'll put it that way. I got more out of that 6 months of freedom being on the ship than most people. Let's see. Yeah, I don't like driving in the rain. Yeah, especially here in Florida, people cannot drive. It's horrible. It's just a big cluster of people with all these different driving styles and stuff. Must be nice. Yeah, it really was nice working on a ship with like basically doing nothing. It really was. Do you think the demand of the crew members to be hired will increase looking into the standby coworkers to present on board in the case if they start falling sick and are in quarantine? I think it depends on what you're talking about as far as demographic. I think here in the United States, a lot of people will not be so inclined to work on a cruise ship. But again, it's a job and it's an adventure working on the ship, and they're gonna woo people in to make it sound like the most amazing thing, regardless of what we've seen. People are gonna work on ships regardless. You know, that's just the bottom line. They're gonna want to do it. But I think it'll pretty much be the same. People aren't gonna care. They're like, oh, whatever. On top of that, you don't know. Nobody knows what the experience working on a cruise ship is gonna be like post-pandemic. They didn't know before this. Nobody knows. If it's your first, a lot of talk, but you don't really know what it's going to be like until you get there. And that's just the truth. So let's see. Sorry, I missed a couple guys. Can cruise lines do cruise ship tours to make money? Yeah, they do. Have lunch or dinner in different ships without actually leaving the port. Wait, sorry, let me see that last part. Lunch or dinner in different ships. Oh, on different ships. I imagine they could. That'd be a smart idea. Maybe they can pull in some extra revenue, I guess, while they're in port, or you know, while they're sitting where they're sitting. Maybe, but who knows? Let's see. Florida does have the worst drivers ever. Yeah, it's true. Al Gibbons, thank you so much for the super chat. I gotta do something cool. Where's Lalita Loca? He's gotta show me how to do all those cool little graphics and stuff whenever they get a super chat. If not, the only thing I might do like a breakdance move or something whenever I get a super chat. I'll clean out my apartment and make a space, and I'll do like a head spin or something every time I get a super chat. That'd be cool. But I want to figure out how to do all the graphic stuff, guys. You notice I'm not like a tech savvy guy. Even when I make my videos, it might look like there's a lot going on, but there really isn't. It's just, you know, simple. I need to learn. I really do. So yeah, you know, I mean, the cruising industry is going to take a hit. Yeah, exactly. You know, for the longest time, I thought that was you doing it. When you do that super chat, I was like, dude, what is that? You know, I didn't know it was like pre-recorded or something. But I mean, I like the way we do these, you know, live streams, to be honest. I try to keep it as organic, I guess you could say, as possible. I'm not really for, yeah, I know it's your voice, Lalita Loca. I just think it's cool. You know, for a long time, you were saying that and it wasn't pre-recorded. I thought you were saying that live and it wasn't matching up with your voice. Yeah, but anyway, yeah, like there's just so much stuff that I do want to do with the channel, but I just figured we take it nice and slow. Channel's growing. Views are decent, you know, so there's no race. There's no race to be the biggest cruise YouTuber. None of that, you know. We're all just riding the wave and enjoying ourselves. And I'm glad I'm able to give you guys some valuable content, you know. So, you know, I'm going to make changes here and there, regardless of sponsors and everything else, guys. It's part of the business, you know. It is what it is. I'm not, you know, like I said, I'm not a travel agent or anything like that. So whatever revenue I make, whether it be from sponsors or merch or anything like that, I do my best just to try to continuously provide content, even if I'm doing integrations of other stuff going on. But yeah, you know, it looks like it's going to be a while for the cruising, guys. I mean, it looks like things are getting rocking and rolling over in Europe, you know, and other parts of the world. So we'll keep an eye on that stuff too. And I'll be sure to give you guys all the updates and everything else that's going on within the cruise ship industry as best I can. So, you know, that's it. But what's that, Scott? We got, all right, yeah, 3 minutes left. Guys, get your last minute questions in. I'll stick around for like a couple more minutes. And after that, we got to get up out of here. I got to stretch and stuff and get ready to head to practice. So, yep. Let's see. Was the walls on the thin ship? Yeah. Can you hear other sounds? Yeah, I'm sure you guys can imagine what sounds you hear next door, for sure. Now, who's that person that wanted a cruise ship story? Dang, I completely forgot. I might have to do like another separate, like, you guys remember when I did my, I don't know, for those of you guys that have been with me for the past couple months before the pandemic, I had this series on my channel called Shiplife Stories. And I talked about the stuff that happened when I was working on board cruise ships. I might bring that back. I think people really seem to enjoy the stories because they didn't understand how wild and crazy things are and unpredictable things are when you're working on a cruise ship. There's so much stuff that happens, guys. You have no idea. Like, there's no such thing as a normal life on the ship. There's no such thing. Let's see. Do the show in your house. I'm in my house. I'm doing it. I'm doing it right now. So I might bring that back, guys, because I used to do those on Sundays. Yeah, the dorm parties, the cabin parties, those are wild. I've seen some crazy stuff, guys. I think I did a story about like the people that just started having like, you know, an adult gathering right there in front of me. And I had to just walk out of the room. It was crazy. So yeah, I might bring that back. I might do that. Bring it back on Sundays again. Just keep it organic though, you know. Let's see, on a positive note, do you think crew members should wait until mid-2021 before joining ships again or try to look for the permanent alternative? I say this all the time, you know, when it comes to this situation, guys, always try to diversify your income because there's no such thing as job security. Like, I make money, yeah, obviously I make money on the cruise ship stuff, the Shiplife YouTube channel because, you know, I try to do my research and figure out how to monetize because the mission has to be funded. If I can't sit here and make videos almost every day talking about cruise ship stuff because I have a life. I have a son to take care of, you know, we all got lives, right? If a crew member is not working right now and they're solely waiting on the cruising industry to start back up, they need to find another source of income. Start a YouTube channel. Talk about your experience working on the ship. You know, it got my channel up and running. right? My channel, I got more views back then when I had no idea what I was doing than even now. You know, when I just got on and I stacked my phone on a bunch of books and I just started talking. And just like that, like I would put a video up and I was just shocked. My first video got like 2,000 views and I was like, oh my God. You know, like it just depends, guys. Like, well, if for any crew members, they shouldn't wait. You can't wait because if you're sitting there twiddling your thumbs, life is going to pass you by and then you're going to end up poor, broke, homeless. You got to figure out a way to keep it moving. I don't know if you guys seen, you got like the Ivanka Trump, her of all people, Ivanka Trump, all people is talking about find something new. You know, this is the change. The world isn't going to be the same after this, guys. And that's just the honest truth. And I think people haven't really come to grasp that concept. The cubicles and stuff, the days of the cubicles are slowly fading away. Some people are going to do, you know, still do it whenever the world gets back to the, I hate to say it, the new normal. But things are going to change. So for anybody out there, try to diversify your income. This is the best time to do it. Get creative. Find another way to make some money. Where did you get the Shiplife song? The Shiplife song is by Jay Dilla, sorry. May he rest in peace. It's called Waves by Jay Dilla. You get it? Waves. I think it kind of, it's appropriate. A little bit, you know, dramatic, but yeah. Do I have a Patreon? No, I'm actually looking into making one. I really need to. I was looking into maybe doing, because you can have a membership integrated into, you know, your YouTube channel, but I might just do a Patreon. I'll let you guys know. And I got to let you guys know about my P.O. box too. I got to send everybody that information whenever I get all that organized. Anyway, guys, that's it for the live stream. We're getting a little bit over, but I don't mind. Anyway, I hope you guys are doing well. I actually got to get ready to, you know, stretch, go to the gym. I got practice for breakdance shows and stuff that I'll be doing. So yeah, that's it, guys. I hope all of you are doing well. I will be back at it tomorrow morning with another video, maybe even two. Who knows? We'll have to see. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And let's have a good week. Everybody have a productive week at that, all right? Thank you so much, guys, for hanging out with me, and I'll see you next week, all right? Take it easy, guys.